Okay, here we are back on the left hand side of the tractor. So a few key points here. This is probably your biggest adjustment point for the tractor as your periodic checks go. Now, I like to say every time you hop on the tractor, you need to check your clutch clearance. Alright, it's as simple as this one's got too much, it hasn't been set properly yet. Alright, but all you do, you can do it with your foot. If you can feel you have that little bit of clearance, you're fine. If you look down here where your main clutch lever arm that goes into the gearbox, alright, it's moving. Let me just zoom in a bit there for you. Alright, so yours will probably be moving about that. This one's out of adjustment because it hasn't been set yet. Alright, so you're moving about that much sort of thing. It just has to have clearance. As the clutch wears, you will lose clearance. If there is no clearance for it to lose, it will just start taking pressure off the clutch, and then it will slip the clutch and burn the clutch out. When you're in operation, like I was saying, there's two stages to your clutch. You got your first stage and then your second stage. Okay, the second stage disengages the PTO shaft. So for starting the tractor, doing anything to do with the rear PTO shaft, the clutch should be all the way down. If you'll notice, this lever here, it moves. I'm going up and down on the clutch pedal now. That rod then goes into the top of the gearbox. It's the detent system, so that stops you getting two gears at once and that sort of thing, and makes it so you got to have your foot on the clutch to change gears, because they're not a synchro gearbox. So you do need to get the revs right when you change gear. You'll find you can go from first to second, no problems. Third to fourth, no problems. You do really got to get the revs right if you're going from second to third. But really, it's sort of a non-event. You just put it in the gear you want to put it in and drive, and that's sort of what you do. So this right here, when it's correctly adjustment, if you have a look at yours now, just so you get a rough idea where it should be and where you will need to adjust it down the track. When you have your clutch halfway down, let me just try and get you in a better position. All right, so that's level there. You want to have just down a little bit when you have your clutch halfway down. If it goes out of adjustment, which once it beds in, it might need a bit of an adjustment, they always do. If I put this one all the way down, see it's gone vertical, and now the clutch pedal won't actually come up. So I've got my hand off it, and it's jammed down on the floor, all right, because of this little lever. So if I just flick that back forward again, and then away it works, all right? So if you find that's happening, once it's done, you've done a few hours and that sort of stuff, once it's bed in, basically you just need to give a bit of an adjustment. So your first point of adjustment for your clutch is check your clearance down here, which where this little rod goes on here, there's an adjustment underneath here on the tractor. Okay, so you set that first. So always your first point. Forget about all this back stuff and this linkage area. First point, adjust your clutch clearance by here. Then you move on, setting this just a little bit below level when the clutch is in the halfway depressed point. Okay, and then that just gives you trouble free, and it's easy, and it will change gears properly. The difference between it being up here when you're trying to change gears and being down there, it's an amazing amount of difference. The detents just don't line up, you'll have trouble, you won't get gears,